episode 4 of Soundbites on Wisp Sports Radio. Soundbites is a bi-weekly podcast providing you with practical information on holistic nutrition. On each episode, we feature a new topic to empower you to make healthier choices so you can improve your overall health, performance, and prevent disease. I am your host, Maricarmen Farias, and today I'm going to be talking about something quite important just because race season is around the corner, and I know that a lot of people out there are freaking out because they have no idea how to fuel. You have done the training, you're ready to go, but now you're wondering, what am I going to do on race day? So what I want to start with is just by saying that training for any type of race, either it's a triathlon, marathon, whatever it is that you're doing, just as you train your body physically, you have to train with nutrition the same way. You cannot expect to have a great performance if you have just been training your body physically without focusing on nutrition, and then on race day, just trying to figure everything out. You have to realize that your body takes a little bit to know what's going to work for you. And you also have to realize that not just what's working for others means that it's going to work for you. So maybe you're not even thinking about that. You have been training a lot, and then on race day, you bonk, you get an upset stomach, reflux, cramps, and many other issues that can be prevented with the right nutrition. So if you have found yourself bonking, even like throwing up, or just having to go to the bathroom multiple times during a race, just know that all of these things can be avoided with the proper nutrition. So on this episode, I am going to share with you why relying on numbers might not be so smart. Numbers are amazing when it comes to having a baseline so that we can get to know our bodies, but saying I'm going to eat this many grams of carbs or I'm going to drink this amount of water might not be so helpful because the environment is always going to be different, so you have to take that into consideration. I'm also going to share with you how you can use numbers to create a personalized plan for you. And I'm also going to give you some recommendations of supplements that you can use for training and what I personally believe is the best way for fueling during a race. Now, we have gotten pretty good with figuring out what we need for racing, but again, like I always say, and you might be tired of hearing me say this, but we are all unique. You have to realize that everyone's going to have a different sweat rate, absorption rate of the nutrients that we're eating, gastric emptying, which pretty much means like the speed at which the food that you consume, it's like getting out of your system, and also how nutrients synthesize with one another from individual to individual. So that's why I said at the beginning that practicing nutrition during training is going to be key. There's so many amazing products out there, but those amazing products might not work personally for you. So let's start with saying that the way you can use numbers is by, let's say, you start with a recommended portion depending on your weight, size, sweat rate, and a lot of variables that need to be taken into consideration, and you see how you feel. Now, take out a pen and paper so that you write down some of the questions that you can ask yourself whenever you are training for a race. Now, the first thing for you to know is, are you feeling energized during a workout? Like, how do you feel with the nutrition that you're currently taking? Number 2, did you have to stop and use the bathroom? Now, this is something really important because if you're eating a lot of fiber, maybe you're overhydrating and you have to be stopping all the time, that's definitely not going to be great if you're racing. So you have to realize that you can overhydrate, you can overeat. And we definitely don't want that because we don't want to be carrying any extra weight. Now, another good question is, how was your appetite throughout the day? Sometimes you can also underfuel, and eat might cause you to overeat later in the day. I hear a lot of people say, I had a, long training and now I'm starving. Now it's definitely normal that you're hungry after a big workout, but if you eat, and then you can't stop eating and you are not satisfied, this is a good indication that you're not fueling correctly during your workout. You should not be having crazy cravings. So that's also a sign that you might need to up your calorie intake. Another question that you can ask yourself is, how is recovery? Do you feel like you're recovering? Like you have a big workout and then the next day, how are you feeling? If you're constantly fatigued, if your muscles just feel like so tired and you cannot push, that might be another sign that you're not fueling properly, because your body should be able to rebuild and to be ready for the next day. And another thing is, during training, if you feel bloated, that is a huge sign that what you're eating is definitely not benefiting you. Even if it's the best brand out there, you should not be feeling any bloat, reflux, or, just not feeling like you are absorbing all the nutrition that you're eating. Now, if you answer yes to any of these questions, it is important that you make some changes. So, like I was saying at the beginning, and I will tell you the numbers in a little bit, but first you realize how many calories you should be eating based on recommendations. Then again, they're pretty reliable. And then after you do this, if you notice that the numbers are not working for you of what's recommended for you personally, then you need to up that intake. Now, if that's not working for you, then you need to lower that intake. And it's exactly just like training. You have to train with nutrition so that you know what works for you. And again, there's not going to be a magic number that's going to be like, this is the number that you need, until you figure it out. And that's where numbers help. You have a baseline, you try it, it doesn't work, you go high, it doesn't work, you go lower. Okay? So when people ask me, what are the most important things to consider when I'm racing? There are three things, just to keep it super simple. Water is going to be number one. You got to be hydrated. Calories are extremely important because obviously you need energy. And then electrolytes, just because your body is going to be losing a lot of minerals when you're racing, not just water. Okay, so that's why it's so important to not just drink water, but add those electrolytes. Now, when it comes to drinking water, again, everyone is going to be different, but the recommendation is around 20 to 28 ounces per hour. More water is needed if you're going to be racing on a hot or humid environment. Or check this out, if you are consuming solids, you need more water. And I will go into more detail about that in a little bit, but just know that you need around 20 to 28 ounces per hour. Okay? Now, the other thing that you need are going to be calories. And the number for that is going to be around let me put it this way. You need 2 calories per pound of body weight. I'm going to repeat that. You need 2 calories per pound of body weight. So whatever your weight is, multiply it by 2, and that's the amount of calories that you need per hour. Now, remember that you're always going to be burning more calories that you can ingest, and that's because that's how digestion works. You cannot consume the same amount of calories that you're burning, and if you do, you're not going to be digesting them, and you're just going to be carrying extra weight. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is electrolytes, primarily sodium. And this is extremely important for endurance events. And this is actually a very delicate topic, because a lot of the leading sports drinks contain not only the sodium, but they also have a lot of simple sugars that are used to disguise the salty taste. Now, for example, some of the leading sports drink have around 140 milligrams of sodium per 8 ounces. So let's say you need 600 milligrams of sodium per hour, and then you have to consume 44 ounces of fluid. And I hope this is not super confusing, but the point here is that leading sports drink do have the sodium that you need, but also have a lot of sugar. So what's going to happen with that is that, remember that in order to use the sugars, the sodium, you need to have a hypotonic solution, which basically means that it can, like if you're having a lot of sugar and not enough water, it doesn't matter how much sugar you have, your body's not going to be able to use it because it's very concentrated. So just make sure that when you're ingesting sodium, you're not ingesting a lot of sugar, because then it's not going to be absorbed. And remember that for every electrolyte and for every calorie that you take, you got to be hydrating as well, so that the solution can be combined with water and it can be absorbed better in your stomach, in your gut. Okay, so with sodium, it's usually recommended that you vary. It can go all the way from 300 milligrams to 1 hour per hour. Okay, so just make sure you know if you're a heavy sweater, obviously that's going to be a little bit higher. Now, that's the information I have for you guys. I hope this is helpful. So just remember, water, calories, and sodium. That's what you're going to need. And I just want to give you guys a couple of recommendations. For me, I personally prefer liquid calories just because they're quicker to absorb and empty on your body. Are nut butters, gels. UCAN is a really good one. Carbo Pro is another good liquid nutrition that you can use. I will actually go ahead and post all this information on the show notes so that you guys can look for the healthier options for fueling during a race, and also the numbers so you can use them as a baseline. This is what I have for you guys today. I hope you found this helpful. And if you would like more information, please visit my website provided on the show notes. You can also email info@wispsports.com with any questions you may have. There will also be links in the show notes accompanying this episode at wispsports.com. Just go to listen and click on sound bites. And while you're there, you can find more conversations from the world of women's sports. Thank you for listening and supporting Women in Sports Everywhere.